from his brilliant album Caustic Love. That's Paolo Nutini, and it's called Let Me Down Easy. So many ways to introduce this next guest. It's kind of, sport for choice, really. Radio 2 DJ, which is ostensibly what he is. But I really like this phrase that I read, and it's called the stealth sex bomb. Going by the title of the stealth sex bomb, Michael Sheen joins me on the show now.
The stealth sex bomb.
That's that is, apparently, according to, I think it's the New York Times.
I have no idea to what they're referring.
No, me neither. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Very nice to have you here. You've got your football shirt on.
I know, I'm all out of puff. I've just come straight from the training ground.
Ooh, wow. Yeah. Okay, what does training consist of?
Well, it consists of running around with a lot of actors trying to look like you know what you're doing. Because this is for Soccer Aid. It's every 2 years we do it. This is my third Soccer Aid now.
This is for UNICEF, isn't it?
All the money gets raised for UNICEF. The match is on Sunday at Old Trafford between England and the rest of the world. And it's live on ITV from 6 o'clock. So watch, donate. And every bit of money that's donated by the British public is match funded by the government this year. So there's no better time to get on there and do it.
And we can just watch a whole bunch of individuals
You can watch me run around
terrified,
like a headless chicken. I mean, this is the extraordinary thing. Like I say, this will be my third one. Yeah. And I mean, 2 years ago we had Will Ferrell and Mike Myers, huge stars, because it's all celebrities and ex-pros, legends, we call them.
So is it England versus the rest of the world?
England versus the rest of the world.
And you're the captain of the rest of the world.
Robbie Williams is captain of England. I am captain of the rest of the world, which is a very large area. It's a bit disproportionate in England and the rest of the world. But and then so Robbie has people like John Bishop and Paddy McGuinness and then amazing pros like Jamie Redknapp and Terry Sheringham, and I've got people like lovely James McAvoy and lovely Jeremy Renner, who I did a movie with last year and convinced to come and do it, and Gordon Ramsay, who's been around for a long time.
All of those people that you've just mentioned can be quite vicious and quite mean. I've seen
I've
seen film roles and I've seen them in action. Yeah.
Well, the English team, they go for it every time.
Nasty?
They're passionate. Let's say they're passionate. So we've got a strong Celtic bent to our team this year. And then we've got these amazing pros like Jaap Stam and Del Piero and Shevchenko and Clarence Seedorf. But our manager this year is Jose Mourinho.
Oh,
the special one. So we are all special ones now.
Okay, so you've had meetings with him? He's been coaching you?
He's coached us every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
He's out there every day taking us through our paces.
What kind of advice has he given you?
Well, the first thing I said to him, we said, thank you so much, Jose, for doing this. This is amazing that you've come and done this. This is so good of you for doing this for UNICEF. And he said, I only live around the corner. I wasn't doing anything else, so I thought, why not? And he's hilarious, but he sort of takes it very seriously. He said that he'd watched all the other Soccer Aid videos, which was kind of scary, thinking he sat in his house watching me playing like an idiot, running around, falling over my own feet.
Do you remember him saying anything to you in particular after
Well, he mainly called me Martin.
Okay.
For the first few days, which was great. But once he did know my name properly, then every time he says my name, Michael, or something, I just kind of go a bit weak at the knees.
A bit of a frisson, yeah, I'm sure you do.
Mourinho calling me Michael.
And so many people watching you when you actually play the smash, and it's on the telly
too.
Exactly.
That's what I was going to say, is that, you've got these big stars coming along, but it doesn't matter how many millions of people have watched your movies, you never stand in front of 70,000 people and make a fool of yourself.
So there's seconds before you walk out on stage onto the pitch. What's going on?
Well, you're in the tunnel. When you watch a big like UEFA Cup match or something, you see the teams in the tunnel, as getting ready to come out, and we're there doing that at Old Trafford, and then you come out, and the crowd just go crazy. It's like a cup final or something.
And what are you feeling inside?
Oh, it's the most thrilling and the most scary feeling I've ever had.
Jelly legs.
Yeah, totally. And but you kind of can't help but just soak it up, and because they're all around you as well, it's sort of it does your head in. But you sort of don't want to mess up. And we're, of course, the away team, rest of the world. And in the very first Soccer Aid I took part in, it went to a penalty shootout at the end. And when I stepped up to take my penalty, to have 70,000 people booing you, it's hard enough taking a penalty, let alone having everyone boo you. So everyone who turns up this time, please don't boo me so much.
Did you score then that first time?
Of course I did,
Of course
Joe.
You did.
Of course I did. Who do you think you're talking to?
I'm talking to the stealth sex bomb, Michael
That's
Sheen.
right.
Is it Martin? So you were doing this DJ, doing presenting Radio 2 shows and everything.
It's good to be back in the old stomping ground here.
Yeah, I'm
Now
feeling slightly threatened
I
here.
feel more comfortable now. I did the last show I did from LA.
Yeah.
That went out live here, and I had David Lynch as my guest.
This is what I wanted to know, who you got to meet, because it must have been some dream fulfillments.
Oh, it was so thrilling because I mean he's a huge hero of mine. I think he's the greatest living filmmaker, and to actually sit down, I was in his studio that he's got at his house. Well, it's one of his houses. It's the house that they shot the Lost Highway in. So it was like being in one of his films, and there he was in this tiny little booth.
And did you stress about being an interviewer as opposed to being interviewed? Did
Yeah,
it, like the night before, were you stressing
well,
about?
exactly. And I mean, the shows I did over Christmas where I had like Adamant here and Gary Newman and Midge Ure from Ultravox. I played Vienna with Midge sitting opposite me. I almost cried. It was amazing. But that thing of being on the other side where, you know, I've got used to the idea of, like, as we are now, we're doing an interview. I don't have to worry about what's coming next. I don't have to worry about what the question is.
No, I'm doing all the working.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But when it's the other way around and the person you're interviewing suddenly stops talking,
yeah, that dead air is horrible.
there you go.
Isn't it?
You have
yes,
to say
I didn't
something.
like that at all.
I can do whatever I want. But when I'm interviewing people, I kind of get caught up in it, and then they stop, and then I think, oh my God, I've got to say something now.
Yeah, no, the worst person to interview is someone not like yourself, but somebody who speaks in very, very kind of abrupt sentences, and they finish their sentence before you've had time to think of your next question, and you just go, oh no.
The sweetest thing about David Lynch, though, interviewing David Lynch, was that I sort of got him to tell stories that I've heard him tell many times, or I've read, you know, him talking about it. And yet, every time he went to answer a question and tell the story, I could, because I was sitting opposite him, he closes his eyes and he's picturing himself there, and he's sort of, and Michael, there was a clock on the wall, and he's picturing everything. And I just thought, the commitment is wonderful.
Yeah. So you're back to LA, and then you'll be doing your TV series, which is doing all right.
Yeah, I'm halfway through the second season of Masters of Sex at the moment, and they gave me a week off to come and do this.
It's very kind of them. The single most embarrassing thing that you've had to do yet as part of Masters of Sex? I'm looking for an update.
I'm not entirely sure I can even say it on radio, but I did a scene the other day where that was set in a hotel room where someone tells me to strip. I had to take all my clothes off. The important bits were in a pouch that you're given. Flesh-coloured pouch, but it sort of has to look like you're completely naked. And then I have to do things to myself. Mm-hmm. And then something else. I can't even talk about it. It's that embarrassing that I can't even talk about it.
I just can't imagine how you do that. So you've got film crew all around you.
Yeah, a bunch of great airy men.
So where do you go to in your head? No, maybe we should not go.
No. I just think of you, Jo.
We shouldn't
Sitting
have gone
here
there.
with you in this studio.
Yeah, doing this show. That's very good. And after that, what else do you have? I'm blushing.
After that, well, funnily enough, I've just been talking about with the amazing organisation that is UNICEF about maybe another trip, because that's the thing. This year, this is the first time that I'll be taking part in Soccer Aid since I've actually gone out in the field and seen how the money gets used. So I went to Chad in West Africa last year to do a report on this is when you give money and donate, this is what happens. And you see the health centres that are being set up by UNICEF, and babies coming in suffering from malnutrition and then coming out a few days later and suddenly, you know, they've got their health back and they've got a life back again. So that's going to make a big difference. So we're talking about maybe another trip somewhere in the autumn. Yeah,
just makes it so much more real. And any films in the offing? Are you reading anything particular?
I'm very excited. A film called Far From the Madding Crowd that I did last year with Kerry Mulligan and directed by the director who did Festen. I don't know if you remember that film from a few years ago. Danish director Thomas Vinterberg. And The Hunt that came out, that was nominated for an Oscar last year. But I think that's going to be really good, and that'll be coming out later this year. And the film that I did with Jeremy Renner, who's taking part in Soccer Aid, called Kill the Messenger, which is a kind of All the President's Men type political thriller.
Any TV roles, film roles that you've passed upon recently, which you're now watching on television, just going, God, that could be me, or you would have liked to have gone for?
I tend to do anything that people ask me to do. True. To be honest, Jo. Yeah. No, so there's nothing that I've seen going on. No. Nothing.
No? Okay, fine. Michael, thank you. It's lovely to talk to you. So Soccer Aid is this Sunday. We get to see it on ITV1 at
6 o'clock, live on ITV this Sunday. Watch, donate.
Okay, enjoy. Are you back to training now?
Yeah, back to do a few more laps.
Go and do some work.